primary ignition.
Welcome to Unlimited Power. My name is D-Rod, and here's my pre-release guide for Star Wars Unlimited's newest set, Twilight of the Republic, for this pretty advanced, maybe complicated leader, Chancellor Palpatine. If this is one of your first time watching one of these videos, I always start off by saying that the goal here is to look at commons and uncommons within this set that are really going to work well with Palpatine and his abilities. Because you're going into a sealed event, whether it's a pre-release event or a traditional sealed, you're only going to get 6 booster packs to work with. That limits the amount of rares and legendaries you're going to see. And even though there's going to be some rares out there that work really well with Palpatine, we're mostly going to focus on commons and uncommons. And because we are trying to keep this short, there's certainly going to be some great cards I may pass on talking about during this. Doesn't mean they're not good. It just means the ones I'm identifying are the ones I really want to make sure you're looking at, because they're the ones I want to focus on when I'm building a deck around Palpatine in a limited format. Now let's take a look at Palpatine and see why he's a little bit more advanced, and it's going to require a bit of deck building skill and play skill once you get him on the table. Palpatine's one of the first leaders we've seen that have double leader sides. There is no leader unit Palpatine. He will not deploy to space. He will not deploy to ground. He will stay in the leadership area. Now, he starts off as a heroic leader, as you can see here on the left, starts with that side face up. As an action, if a friendly unit was defeated this phase, you may draw a card and heal 2 damage from your base, and flip the leader. Now the unit that dies has to be heroic. You see the heroic symbol there, has to be a white heroic unit. The good news is clone trooper tokens are heroic, so they will have that symbol and can meet that criteria. When you flip him, his new ability gives him the villain aspect, making sure you can play villain cards now. And as an action, if you played a villain card with the black aspect symbol, you can create a clone trooper token. Then you deal 2 damage to each enemy base, and you flip the leader. So Palpatine can kind of give you this interesting engine. If you can keep white units on the board and then defeat them, or have them defeated on the turn that you need, you can flip Palpatine over and heal your base. If you're playing villain cards, you're able to generate more clone trooper tokens and damage your opponent's base. This is a delicate dance that you're going to want to get into. Palpatine opens you up to the ability of playing a lot of heroic cards and villain cards in and out of aspect. So the cards I'm going to recommend are definitely going to be ones that kind of give you some utility here. But the important thing is you can play in this set and do a lot more token generation to give you variety here. You just really want to make sure that you have a good amount of villain units that you can make sure you're putting into play, as well as that you have some type of generation of heroic units, right? So for Darth Sidious, again, you just need to make sure you're playing a black aspect card to trigger him. And you need to make sure you have white heroic units in play to trigger the other Palpatine. So let's take a look here. Because you are going with 2 colors, I am going to suggest, looking at heroic cards and villain cards each one, but because it benefits you to do that. You don't want to have too many cards that don't have either, or you're going to be stuck with Palpatine never flipping either way. Again, delicate dance here. The first card I'm going to recommend is the Elite P-38 Starfighter. This is a 3-cost space unit that's a 3/2 that has a when played and when defeated ability that allows it to deal 1 damage to a unit of your choice. It could be yours if you need it, or your opponent's. That 1 point of damage can be the final piece necessary to defeat one of your clone trooper tokens, which are usually 2/2s, which is why I'm throwing it in here. Another card uses one of the new keyword abilities that's going to benefit you, and that's called Exploit. This Infiltrating Demolisher is a 4-cost, 4/5 unit with Saboteur. Saboteur, we saw in the first set, was a keyword that allows you to ignore Sentinel units and defeat Defender's shields. With Exploit, you can lower the cost of the card when you play it by defeating a unit you already have in play. For each unit defeated, you lower the cost by 2. Exploit always has a numerical value after it. So if it says exploit 1, you can only lower the cost by 2. In this case, Infiltrating Demolisher says you can put it out a 4/5 with Saboteur for just 2 resources. So go ahead and defeat one of your Clone Trooper tokens, play the Demolisher, and there you go. You have just now triggered your Palpatine and could flip them over to the villain side. A great heroic card is going to be Clear the Field. Clear the Field is one of my favorite cards within the heroic aspect of the set because it allows you to choose a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less and return each enemy unit with the same name to the owner's hand. Now, this is a 2-cost event and is great for cleaning the board and just getting rid of all those tokens that your opponent may have. You'll name Clone Trooper or you'll name Battle Droid. Trooper tokens, token units and tokens of any type cannot exist outside the arena. They don't exist in the hand. They cannot exist in the discard pile or or on your deck. So they are removed from the game when they leave play. So this is a great way of removing them. In the cunning aspect, I'm going to recommend Hidden Sharpshooter. It's just a great 4-cost unit with ambush. It has 4 power and 3 health. And so it's going to do enough damage to units or leader units. And with 3 health, it can survive hitting a couple of battle droids or even a couple of clone troopers and take a few of them out. I like that. Plo Koon is a great cunning card, and I like that we have a chance to play him here because Plo Koon cost 5, and they are 3/6 with ambush. But they also give us the other new keyword, Coordinate. Coordinate gives you Raid 3, or any bonus, really, whatever they list on the card, as long as you have 3 or more resources. In this case, you get +3 Raid, and Raid says whenever you are attacking, increase your power by whatever the value is. This means you could play Plo Koon and immediately ready him as long as your opponent has a unit. You can attack that unit with the ambush ability, and you'll have a 6/6 attacking. Seems good. On the doorstep is a villain aspect card that you can play to give you 3 battle droid tokens and ready them. Also, that will trigger your Palpatine flip. You're going to need these tokens to use certain abilities like Coordinate and Exploit, so it's a great card to get, and I love that it's a common. A great heroic card is Batch Brothers if you're looking to make some tokens in the aggression color. For 3 costs, you get a 2/1 that says when played, create a Clone Trooper token, which is a 2/2. That 2/1 for the brothers makes it an easier kill in case you need it, so you can just run that into anything and trigger your Palpatine flip. Squadron of Vultures has the exploit mechanic of 3, and it costs 6. So for 6 resources, you could get a 5/4, but you could also pay as low as 0 if you're willing to sacrifice 3 units. That's one of those things that you want to look at on the board. Is it the right time to exploit and remove one of your heroic units, or do you just want to hard cast Squadron of Vultures? Reckless Torrent gives you a couple of options here. As a 3-cost non-villain or heroic aspect, you get a 3/1 with the Coordinate mechanic. As long as you have 3 units in play, which can include Reckless Torrent, then you may deal 2 damage to a friendly unit and 2 damage to a non-friendly unit, an enemy unit, as long as they're in the same arena. So the Torrent could kill your Clone Trooper for you, since most of those have 2 health, and then hopefully kill another unit your opponent has and allow you to flip Palpatine. For command, it's really hard to pass on such a great 5-cost unit like Clone Commander Cody. He can play either side, either villain or hero, and he's a 4/4 with Overwhelm. Overwhelm allows you to attack enemy units and deal any excess damage that goes above their current health straight to the opponent's base. Damaging the opponent's base is key, obviously, to winning, but it works well with what Palpatine's doing, keeping that engine moving. Damage happening on your opponent's base every turn will ensure that you can win. Now, he also gives you Coordinate, and as long as you have 3 units in play, all other units will get +1/+1 and Overwhelm. So it may be harder for you to kill your units if you need them to, but now they are much bigger threats, and you have more encouragement to just swing into your opponent's units, knowing that excess damage will go over, and if you need one of your units to die, it's still beneficial there. Need more battle droid tokens? Play the Kraken. For 5 resources, you get a 2/5, can trigger your Palpatine flip, as well as it will give all friendly token units, battle droids or clones, +1/+1 for the phase whenever he attacks. And last is the Advanced Recon Commando for the command aspect. He's just a 3 cost 4/3 with Overwhelm, which we've already discussed. In the vigilance aspect, let's look at my favorite security officer or security captain from episode 1 and episode 2, Captain Typho. He's gone from protecting queens to senators, and here he's going to protect you. For 3 resources, you get a 2/4 unit when played and on attack who can give Sentinel where he needs it to go. This is good. If you really need your opponent to swing into that 2/2 clone trooper, this sets it up. This allows you to pick where your opponent needs to hit, and so you can time your flips a little bit better. Droideka Security has that exploit 2 mechanic, so you can pay as low as 2 to get a Sentinel unit in play. And for a 4/5, that should buy you a little bit more time in case you are running out of tokens or just need to set up something else. Guarding the Way is a 2 cost event that can give any unit Sentinel as well for the phase, and if you have the initiative, you can give it to +2/+2 as well. Now, in the villain aspect, Battle Droid Legion over here, 9 cost, exploit 2, so you can pay as low as 5 resources for a 6/5 that says when it's defeated, create 3 Battle Droid tokens. Again, you want the defeats. You want the battle droid. You want to be able to defeat your unit, so you want to use the exploit to remove heroic aspect units from play in case your opponent's trying to avoid them. Droid Deployment is a 2 cost event that you can play to create 2 droids, and Hellfire Tank is an 8 cost unit that is a 7/6, which you could exploit to pay as low as 4/4. So all great units are going to kind of help you out with your current trend here. Now, because we can play hero as well, I'm going to suggest drop in. You know you need those clone trooper tokens. Your opponent doesn't want you to keep those because they know they can stop you from flipping. So drop in is going to give you 2 tokens for 4 resources. The phase 2 clone trooper is a great 3-drop unit because he has ambush, and you need clones to come in and immediately put some pressure on your opponent. So this is a good one if you need to flip your heroic Palpatine. And next is heroes on both sides. Not many decks are going to be as focused of playing both Separatist and Republic characters, but Palpatine will. This allows you to choose 1 Republic and 1 Separatist unit, give each of them +2/+2, and Saboteur for the phase. And lastly is going to be the non-aspect colors. A little difficult here. There's not going to be any real winners as they are in the other colors. But if you need to fill some slots, Headhunter Squadron works well in the space area because they only cost 2. They don't hit hard, but they're low cost and gets you a unit in the space arena. The Volunteer Soldier should come into play for 2 resources instead of 3 because this set is so trooper heavy, giving you a 2/3 with Raid 1. And lastly is private manufacturing. You need to draw cards to see what you need to see for Palpatine flips, and this is going to allow you to draw 2 for 2. If you don't have a token unit in play, however, you are going to have to take 2 cards out of your hand and put them on the bottom of your deck. But in this format, you should have tokens. So here's everything I had to say about the Palpatine Darth Sidious leader. I think he is a very advanced leader. I think it is going to take some skill. I think you're going to want to make sure you have the right pieces. But if you're interested in playing him, this is what I would suggest you take a look at. Let me know what you do with Palpatine at your local pre-release or sealed event. What colors did you get? Did you get an amazing leader or rare that, legendary or rare that worked with him? I'm curious and want to know. I wish you luck at your future events since we're about to see pre-releases start on November 1st, and then we're going to have the release of Twilight of the Republic on November 8th. Good luck with your packs, good luck with your events, and may the Force be with you.